Hello YouTube, this is Slacker Warrior. I'm going to upload some videos on Dark Souls because a friend requested me to. The first video I'm going to do is a tutorial through some controls that aren't so obvious, so try to bear with me. I'm going to load up a character right now. Load up this guy. So, the first thing that wasn't obvious to me when I first played through Dark Souls was humanity. Now, humanity is this little thing in the upper left corner right here, this double zero. I have no humanity right now. How you acquire humanity is, the easiest way is to use the item called humanity. A little too obvious, I know. Twin humanity will give you 2 humanity. So I'm going to use 1 right now. Now, humanity has all sorts of different things it does. You can use it when you're undead to become human at a bonfire. I'm already human right now because it's glowing. So, to make myself undead, I'll just go kill myself real quick. Off the cliff. Died a horrible death. Now I'm undead. I'm looking pretty gruesome right there. I'm gonna collect up my souls when I died. So to make myself human, I'm gonna rest at a bonfire. Go all the way down here where it says reverse hollowing. Off of humanity, reverse hollowing. So it spends my humanity point, and it makes me human. Now you're thinking, why would I want to be human? Well, when you're human, you can summon help from other players online, or even in-game players, if you don't want to play online. You can also be invaded, though. That's the downside of being a human. So other players can invade you if you're online, or even in-game NPCs can invade you. So it's your call if you want to play with help or not. I'm going to try to do the walkthrough while being a human most of the time. The other use for humanity at a bonfire is called kindles. No, not the Amazon.com product. What it does is it kindles the fire, makes it bigger. The reason you want to do that is, you see this little thing down here called an Estus flask? That's your potion, basically. The more you kindle a bonfire, the more Estus flasks it's going to give you. At the beginning of the game, it'll only let you kindle it once, which will give you 10 flasks. After you beat a certain boss, it'll let you kindle it more to up to 20 flasks. More flasks the better, usually. Especially if you're a beginner at this game and you get hit a lot. Alright, I'm gonna go put my armor right back on real quick. Alright, so, another thing is different types of weapons. Right here is a normal straight sword. That's also a straight sword. So a claymore right here is a great sword. Great swords swing a little slower. They do a little more damage though, and they hit a little harder. Compared to my normal straight sword, which is a little faster. Now there's also an ultra great sword. Let's see if I have one. There is Zweihander. So these swing slow as hell. Now you're thinking, why would I want to use a very, very slow weapon? Well, the benefit of them is it stuns everything. Like, stun locks them, makes it where they can't move, and you can just keep swinging and take them away. The reason I don't like to use them is they're so slow, and if I miss, I am screwed. I generally like the faster weapons, but choose whatever playstyle feels comfortable to you. Now, you have to build your character around what type of weapons you want. This right here is a Baldur's Side sword. Right here it says parameter bonus. That's strength. It doesn't. E is basically the bare bottom. It barely gets a bonus from it. Right here is dexterity. A, it gets a pretty good bonus from dexterity. S is the best you can get. This is for intelligence, and this is for faith. This is also other effects that it does. This is bleeding damage, poison damage, holy damage, and then occult damage. The basic attack right here, this is the added bonus for my stats. And then there's a critical. The more critical it has, it'll be more critical damage when you do like a backstab or a riposte. Now let's go down to, let's say, Claymore. Claymore has a C and C, so it does good with a strength and dexterity build. The Zweihander does very good with strengths. So it would make sense, right? Big sword, you swing harder. Right over here, if you see 24, it's red. That means I don't have 24 strength. My strength right now is about 20. So I have to two-hand that sword to actually use it. So there's all sorts of minimum stat requirements. Like this Black Knight sword, 20 strength, 18 dex. Sometimes it requires intelligence, sometimes it requires faith. So basically, you choose what type of weapon you want. On the walkthrough, I'm mostly going to use dexterity-style weapons because that's usually my playstyle. But I'll try to show you what a basic normal playthrough would generally use. Alright, different types of attacks. I'm going to go up to some enemies right over here. Normal attack is R1 or right bumper. Simple as that. Notice it's not too accurate. If you hit the right stick down or hit R3 on the PS3, it targets. So it focuses the camera on them and makes it a little easier to hit, and your attacks generally go straight towards them. Strong attack is right trigger or R2. Does a little more damage. Blocking is left bumper or L1. So that's one way to dodge an attack. Another way is to roll through the attack. So if you roll, it dodges the attack. Another way is to parry the attack. That's your left trigger. So you just... I'm not too good at it. Let's try that again. When you hear that noise, you hit the weak attack, and it does a riposte, which is heavy critical damage. Another type of attack, if you roll is B or circle. While pressing a direction. If you roll, then hit attack while rolling. It does another type of attack. If you do a backstep is if you hit B without going in any direction. And attack, it'll do a backstep and then a basically run and slice attack. Another type of attacks, if you hit forward and right bumper, that's a kick. Some other weapons, it's another action. But most of the time it's a kick. Kicks are good against spear users in the game. If you kick their shield, it usually knocks their shield out, and then you can hit them with a nice attack. Then if you hit forward and strong attack, let's try that again. It does a nice stabbing motion, a jump stab motion. So all sorts of different options for your combat. There's another type of critical, is if you go to their back. It's called a backstab. Alright. So now we have different types of sorceries in this game. We have pyromancy, which is use of the flame right here. Like a fireball. Then you also have what's called sorcery. And then there's also miracles. So pyromancy requires no stats, basically. It goes stronger with your humanity, up to 10 humanity. Sorcery uses intelligence. It shoots crystal magic, other types of magic, and buffs magic. Buffs your swords and buffs your shields, for your fall resistance and stuff like that. There's also some chameleon stuff where you can hide your weapon type, or you can even turn yourself into like a bush or a vase, depends on the area, so you can hide yourself. Then there's also miracles. Miracles is very heavily support. It heals yourself, it buffs your weapons. There's this one that lets you take you back to the last bonfire you rested at. So all sorts of different types of magic. I generally actually prefer, I haven't played this guy in a while, but I generally prefer miracles. Miracles, the buffs, especially the Dark Moonblade. That's a huge buff. Alright, then another not so obvious control is the gestures. That's select or left, or what do you call this on Xbox? Back. So, different types of gestures, you can swap them out with Y or triangle to whatever you want. Most people you see online use the bow. Or you can wave like, hi, how's it going? Or wait, what's the one the douches always use? Oh yeah. Well, what is it? So that's mainly an online thing, but whatever you feel like using. Okay, so last thing I'm going to touch on is armor and armor weight. So I was going over rolling earlier. You know, this guy has what we call a fast roll. There's also fast rolls within fast rolls. There's other YouTube videos. I'm not going to cover that because I'm not that hardcore in the Dark Souls. Okay, so the basic types of roll. There's the ninja flip, which is the fastest one. You got the fast roll. You got the medium roll, the fat roll. Oh, then there's also the no roll. It's determined by your equip load. So if you're under 25% and wearing a dark wood grain ring, that does the ninja flip. If you're just under 25%, that's just a fast roll. If you're 50% and below, that's a medium roll. And if you're between 50% and 100%, that's a fat roll. If you're over 100%, it won't even let you roll. So we have the fast roll, like I said, right here. It rolls a little faster. If I take off this ring I got right here, it hopefully should put me at a medium roll. Notice it's a little slower. And then if I put on some really heavy armor, like Havel's armor right here, it's a nice slow roll, which honestly isn't that good. So the faster you roll, the more frames of immunity you have from attacks. So generally I never have a fat roller because I do not feel safe in Dark Souls at all with a fat roll. Alright, so now what's the point of having some heavy armor? Well, if you notice right here, this has lower stats, like normal protection from everything, and then poise is 16. Now if you go down to this Havel's armor, poise is 47, it's got a huge ton more stats, but the weight is very, very heavy. Now, what's poise? Poise is basically your breaking point for taking attacks. If you take like a really big sword, you're going to have your poise breaking down really quick. If you take a lighter sword, it doesn't hurt as much and you won't have you won't be stun locked. Now I'm going to show you the difference right here. If I move right on up here. Take me a minute. So we got this guy right here. I'm going to let him swing on me. You notice I'm not going to get stunned at all. Like, I'm able to just do whatever I want. Now, if I take off my armor, and this guy swings on me, I'm going to get stunned and I can't do anything. See, it takes me a while to recover from that. So that's the point of having poise. If you go on a wiki online, you could probably find all the breaking points. I don't have them all memorized. I know 56 to 70 is usually my comfort range, because that's usually right around where great swords and ultra great swords break you at. I think 70 is ultra. Don't quote me on that, people. Look it up. And last thing I'm going to touch on is jumping. I know I said armor was going to be the last thing, but I just remember jumping. So jumping is you sprint by holding B or circle, and then you hit the sprint button while you're sprinting. Yeah, what? So basically, you hold the button down, and then you let go and tap it again real quick. So, like so, and you jump. Now, what's the point of jumping in this game? Is to get over small gaps and maybe find shortcuts and stuff or hidden items. Simple stuff like that. You won't be jumping too much in this game unless you're looking for stuff. That's the basics of Dark Souls. I think I covered everything I want to cover in this one. I'm trying not to cover the obvious stuff because most people can figure that out. I'm just trying to cover the stuff that I did not know in my first playthrough and I found out by accident because I don't read instruction manuals and you guys probably don't either. So this is Slacker Warrior with his first YouTube video on Dark Souls. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything, just let me know. Comment right down below in the box. I have this guy right here trying to take me out. Let me get rid of him real quick. But like I was saying, subscribe if you like my stuff. I'm going to be making a walkthrough. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I'm going to be making a walkthrough of Dark Souls. Your basic one, I'm going to show you a few, well, they're not really secrets, but if you're new to the game, you're probably going to be go, oh, wow, that's surprising. So, Slacker Warrior, signing out.